Newly uncovered email revealed that then Vice President Joe Biden's office worked to suppress a news story about Hunter Biden and his overseas business dealings. Sound familiar?
And the New York Post is reporting that Hunter used an FBI mole to alert him of any federal investigations into his dealings with Chinese business partners.
Okay, the guy's name was One Eye. All right, that could narrow it down a little bit. Mark Meredith is live from Washington. Hey, Mark, I know you're at the White House. Have you ever met a FBI agent named One Eye?
Man, I'm trying to find the best way to segue through this one. Good morning to you guys.
There is no segue.
Both our eyes are open because we're going to be looking for any reaction today.
There you
exactly.
go.
We can talk about Peanut, too. Good morning to all three of you guys. Let me get you caught up here. America First Legal, which is a group led by former Trump senior aide Stephen Miller, says it has obtained emails dating back to 2015 when then Vice President Biden was in office. They claim that these emails show how close relationships were between Obama administration officials and business associates of Hunter Biden. These emails came to light because of a lawsuit that this group has filed against the National Archives. They appear to show efforts by Rosemont Seneca, remember that's Hunter's former investment firm, to either get ahead or kill future stories about Hunter's involvement with the Ukrainian energy firm, especially after the New York Times brought up the matter. In one email to Biden communications aide Kate Bedingfield, Eric Schwerin writes, "You saw the New York Times article? Any follow-up on it?" In which Bedingfield replied, "The VP just finished an interview with the Bloomberg reporter traveling with us, and she asked about it, though she assures me she's doing everything she can not to use it." Now, it's not unusual for White House aides to track which stories are gaining momentum and which ones are falling by the wayside. But because this one involves Hunter, this exchange may once again spark questions by House Republicans about what kind of involvement Joe Biden has had in his son's business dealings. As for the White House, they continue to dodge questions on the matter.
House Oversight says they've got bank records showing a Chinese energy company paying 3 Biden family members through a third party. What were they paid for?
Look, I'm just not going to respond to that. I don't even know where to begin to even answer that question because, again, it's been lies and lies and inaccuracy for the past couple years, and I'm just not going to get into it from here.
Now, the latest approval numbers show that the president's approval remaining underwater. A survey by Monmouth showing the president's approval rating at 41%. His likely 2024 running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris, also seeing her poll numbers still in a major slump, with only 36% of voters approving of her job performance. The VP also raising eyebrows with some comments she made honoring women's history. Take a listen.
So during Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history, who saw what could be unburdened by what had been.
Well, there's been a lot of questions about Harris's viability on a ticket for 2024. Her office recently told CNN that she is laser focused on her job and not focused on these controversies that kind of pop up week to week. As for President Biden, he's getting ready to head north. He'll be making his first trip to Canada since taking office. So it should be an interesting day here. Steve, Ainsley, and Brian, back to you guys.
A lot going on. Thank you very much, Mark. So regarding this story where Kate Bedingfield was trying to work the Bloomberg reporter, and, you know, comms departments do that a lot. They call the reporters and say, you know, what are you working on? And he just said that the Bloomberg reporter was doing everything she could not to use it. And then Eric Schwerin said, remind the reporter there's no news in what Joe Biden said. And the soundbite that she got from him was that he doesn't talk to his children about their work and they don't talk to him. Anyway, said, remind the reporter, no news there. And if she uses it, avoid getting into past stories like the Navy, etc. They have nothing to do with it. It is presumed that the Navy story was that he was discharged, Hunter was, from the Navy in 2014 regarding cocaine. And finally,
turns out the Navy didn't want him using it.
Bedingfield said the reporter will only use it if the editor holds a gun to her head. The next day, Bloomberg did run the story, but it essentially said what Joe said. Bloomberg, interestingly enough, deleted the story from their website in 2016, according to the Wayback Machine. And that was way back, but before Joe ran for president.
The One Eye story is interesting, too, this FBI mole. The Israeli energy expert that has been arrested last month says that the FBI mole, One Eye, tipped off Hunter's Chinese business partners. that they were under investigation. This guy who's saying this, the Israeli Defense Force guy, says that he was arrested to stop him from revealing what he knows about the Biden family and FBI corruption. He tweeted out, "The DOJ is trying to bury me to protect Joe, Jim, and Hunter Biden." His attorney says that he tried to inform the DOJ 4 years ago that this was happening, that the Chinese energy company CEFC was paying $100,000 per month to Hunter Biden and $65,000 to Joe Biden's brother Jim. He says they were paid in exchange for FBI connections and the use of the Biden name in the China's Belt and Road Initiative.
And just keep in mind, anytime President Biden says, "I know nothing about my son's affairs," he's lying, which we should get used to him doing. Remember, he lied when he
played golf with his business partner.
Right, and we know, too, that Tony Bobulinski says they met at the Beverly Hills Hotel right after he made his speech, and they talked about it. He said, "Make sure you take care of my son." They talked in terms, and we know that he got paid for it. He also lied when he said 51 intelligence experts say that that's not his laptop, when he knows damn well those were all his emails, and they know that was his son's laptop. And last weekend, he was asked, what about the bank records that show the Bidens were profiting off that Chinese company? He said, not true. They're bank records, Bank of America. All those are lies. People don't seem to care. I hope you do. Meanwhile, August Pfluger reacted to this story this morning, the congressman getting ready for the TikTok probes today, but he reacted to this one-eye FBI guy that was tipping off Hunter. Listen.
It does sound like a B-roll movie with an antagonist that's a Russian arms dealer that you can't make this up and you don't want to watch the movie. We hope we can, and I'll give credit to Jamie Comer. This is our commitment to America. We're going to have accountability, and it starts with stories like this. But this goes back to 2019, and allegedly the information was in DOJ. They could have investigated. They did not, and now they're trying to trump up charges. So I hope we can get to the bottom of this.
Right. Regarding this one-eye story, and it's in the New York Post. So this story was started by this guy who was being arrested. He was arrested in Cyprus on gun running charges.
The Israeli guy.
Right. And supposedly he knew of somebody in the FBI. Later in the story, at the end of the story, it said, so Hunter had an informant in the FBI or formerly at the FBI. This is obviously a story that is extraordinary. And as soon as somebody has somebody on the record who swears that the story is true, we'll know for sure.
You know, but the thing is about One Eye, it's not like his name is Skip or Bobby. You know if you're in the FBI, you know, that's a very distinct nickname, One Eye. Number one, I would look for something distinctive about the one eye on his body, or does he have one really good eye that's better than the other eye? Or is there a different color eye?
Or did he used to be a pirate? Right.
Or did he used to be a Pittsburgh pirate or an actual pirate, which doesn't pay as well as the FBI, which would explain why
we just need more answers from the Republicans. Come on. If we're hearing about this is from oversight, let's get some more names and figure out who that guy is,
more
if the person actually exists. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.